I just wanted to share one of my testimonies regarding how the Holy Spirit speaks to us and how, well, actually, it's more about how the Holy Spirit will warn us. I've got a lot of testimonies, but this one in particular came to mind, and I thought I would share it with you guys. Um, so, about a year ago, I came out of a really toxic relationship. Like, I ended the relationship. It was, when I say toxic, it was extremely toxic. It was really volatile. Um, yeah, not to, I'm obviously not going to say any names, and I'm not trying to put anyone down, because I know that the person that I was with, he was just riddled with like demonic spirits, like completely riddled with them. He had a lot of trauma from when he was a child that was unresolved, and as a result of that not being resolved, he got just wrapped up in sin, in willful sin, which became then just, his life was just, he was consumed by sin. He had a lot of addictions, a lot of attachments. And I feel bad for him. I actually do. I know that to a certain extent we're responsible for ourselves, and we have to, we have to take ownership of our lives, and make the right choices and do the inner work and heal and what have you. But I feel like some people are just so wrapped up in toxicity and have so many strongholds and demonic attachments that they just, some people, I hate to say it, are just, they won't change. They're just too far gone. As sad as that is, it's just the truth. That seems to be the truth of the situation for some people in some cases. But anyway, I'm rambling. So I just knew I had to break free from this relationship and this person. And so I did. It wasn't easy because, when you, it was more of a trauma bond situation. So it wasn't easy. But I knew I was being called to let this go. And I just knew, I, deep down inside me, my spirit knew. I just knew that I had to let it go. It was hindering me in all ways. I wasn't happy. I was drained. It was one sided. It was just, yeah. Okay. Long story short, I ended the relationship. Um, and then about 4 months after, he had moved away, and he would still call me and try to speak to me. And most of the time I wasn't having it because he would just try to manipulate me just to get me back. It was a cycle, basically. So I knew by this point, I was well aware of the cycle. I was well aware of what was going on. I had a lot of time to think. And so by this time, after it had been a few months, I knew that that's what he would be trying to do. And so I was using my discernment. And as hard as it was, I knew I didn't want to be with him anyway. Like, I had love for him and felt for him, but I knew I didn't want to be with him. But anyway, he wouldn't stop calling me, and he was actually a real mess. Like, he was crying, he was like sobbing, weeping. So there were sometimes I would speak with him on the phone, and he'd be like, please, can we just talk, because it makes me feel better if we talk. Like, I know you're not going to get back together with me, but can we just talk, kind of a thing. So me being kind of me being an empath, I agreed to just have like a friendly conversation with him. And we had been talking for a little while on the phone. I'd say about half an hour or so. And we were having a really good conversation, to be fair. We were having like a really good conversation. Um, and it was a nice conversation. So I was, needless to say, I was enjoying the conversation. It was just kind of nice to have like a lighthearted, normal, like somewhat like happy conversation. And he was saying to me, well, I was sitting out in the living room, and I was watching something on YouTube. And I remember when he called, I had paused it, but I hadn't been paying attention to the TV because I was focused on the phone call, and I had gotten up off of the sofa. But I had paused it. So that's important. So yeah, I had paused the YouTube. And so anyway, yes, back to what I was saying. We were talking and having a nice conversation. And then he said to me, oh, please, can we just like have a few months apart and just like maybe can we just try and take it slow? And if I can prove myself to you, would you maybe consider possibly like maybe giving us another chance? And I was kind of thinking about it. I wanted to say yes. I really wanted to say yes. And I was thinking, and I was kind of like pondering it. And he was like, please, like begging. And I sat back down on the sofa and I happened to look up at the TV and it was paused. This is what it was paused on. It was this horror movie called The First Omen that came out last year. And it was paused on this and it said The First Omen. And then it had like a picture of this like demonic thing. And it said in cinemas, April 5th. April 5th is his birthday. So that's my ex's birthday. So the minute that I looked up and saw this on the TV, I didn't ponder it. I knew that was my sign from the Holy Spirit saying, no, he's a devil. You cannot even consider taking him back. It would be the death of you. Not, I mean that figuratively, like not like metaphorically, not like literally, but this is how the Holy Spirit will send you signs. The Holy Spirit will sometimes even speak to you, like when you get like a thoughts in your mind or you hear a voice, not like auditory hallucinations, not like that, but you know, you just know when it's the Holy Spirit speaking or showing you something. So that is one of the types of ways that the Holy Spirit will speak to you, through signs, through numbers, through synchronicities. I mean, the possibilities are endless, but was definite. And not only will you see something that will be confirmation, but you'll see it, and when you see it, you'll feel it. So you'll know in your body, you just know. And I just think it's absolutely amazing. It's so amazing that the Holy Spirit will speak to us, will warn us, and it always will. God will always warn us and show us the truth. So yeah, I hope you like this video. Apologies, I rambled a little bit, but I hope you got the gist of what I was saying. And if this is your first time seeing me and you like my vibe, albeit as scatty as it was today, do consider maybe checking out some of my other content and maybe giving me a subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I would love to have you here. But if this is where we part, I wish you peace, blessings, happiness, good health, and may God bless you and your loved ones. And hopefully see you soon. Love you. Bye.